Hi guys, we're so excited today because this transit means a little extra for both of us. We have from June 1st to June the 7th, we have the sun in gate 35, the gate of change. And coincidentally, it is Anita's personality sun in her human design. And for me, it's on my design side. It's also the gate that the sun is in my design. So for both of us, it's a very familiar energy. For me, going further is the grounding gate. The earth gate is in gate 5, the gate of fixed patterns or rhythms. And that is my design earth as well. And so I was just saying to Anita before we started recording this, how I don't feel like there's any extra influence. Sometimes I feel, on other transits, like, oh, what's happening, and I have a need to check, that because I'm very in tune with what my energies are, and I can see when I'm pulled away somewhere. And this is what the transits are about. And this is why we're doing this series as well, because sometimes it's not you, it's the vibe. And so what is there out there now that maybe is dragging you along, but it's not you? So should you go with it, or should you stay put? And that is always the question that you can tune in and check with your strategy authority, with your heart. And that's when you know, with your own individual authority, what to do, whether to use that as the springboard to something, or whether to just lay low and wait it out. Or maybe there is a feeling that's arising that is just, it shows you misalignment. It shows you maybe that less is more, whatever it is that week. So this week is so interesting because we have this gate of change. I am so familiar with this. This is a gate on the throat. So it's something we express, and it's always looking for the new. It is almost like everything that you have, you're like, okay, what's next? I want something new. You have this urge to take action, to change things, and this week, be careful, because you might get very excited about changing things, and whether it's your marketing strategies in your business, whether it's a business partner, whether it's things in your life, be aware that there is this energy. So you have to think harder before you make a change. Is it really you, or you are catching up with something? You feel pushed, you feel pressurized, there's a deadline, or you're just feeling bored and trapped. And that is exactly the kind of feeling that, if you feel like bored, trapped, and you feel like you're blaming everybody else for that, it is the energy of this gate in its shadow. So be aware of that. There is good energy, how you can springboard into action. There is a lot of expression, so you can do storytelling, you can brainstorming is fantastic, because you are talking about the ideas, and you are talking about your future vision. But here's the key, because we have this grounding earth gate 5, the gate of rhythms. You have your own rhythms, right? Sometimes you might not be aware of them. And this is actually a great week for tracking your rhythms as well, and your cycles. But you can be confused. So when you're with other people, you get to sense this collective rhythm, which makes it more clear how you can express your own individuality. And that's why collaborations, brainstorming, masterminds, any kind of collective together activities could be very beneficial. So this is something that you can really focus on. Let me just think. Yes, also because it's a gate of rhythm that's grounding us, planning your timelines for the future is really good. But then, maybe I know there's more stuff going on this week. So Anita, you're the one who takes us higher into the planets and everything. How are you feeling this energy?
Oh, I love it, but I do have to be really careful, as you know, because this energy, it's kind of the gate of hunger, wanting more, needing more. So in manifesting, it's very important to keep this in balance, because we can be always striving and never arriving. We have this inner feeling unsettled that's kind of needing a change. And if that change isn't linked to our yes, we're just throwing spaghetti on the wall. We're just running for the sake of running, right?
Yeah.
So we can go overboard. But the other side is when you balance this and look at the last couple of weeks, when you stay in the now and connect the details that you're focusing your energy on to your inner yes. And now this week, stay connected to what you really want, what you really love. And that's where we get the quantum leap into manifesting it. Otherwise, we're busy for the sake of busy. We're kind of setting up stuff that's creating crises
That's
instead of a
right.
center, right? So with the other planets at the moment, it's really cool. We have a lot of ending energy. We have a lot of finishing up things, letting go that which isn't working for us, and letting go the details. And this Venus is also conjunct the sun this week and the new moon is on Thursday, on the 6th. So what that means is in 2020, we started a cycle of really establishing new preferences about what we like and what we want. So think of work. So many people were stranded at home, right, for so long. A lot of people, it drove them crazy. They said, I need to be in the office. Whereas other people decided, oh, I really like being at home. This really suits me. And the whole work ethic has changed now. They now have hybrid jobs, they call them, some home, some away. So we are being invited to really explore the details that we're paying attention to now, that we are getting a yes to, and so that we can move forward in our flow, in our rhythm. And then you have Pluto, which is hanging around there as well, which is enhancing this energy. But we also have Saturn squaring this energy, which means Saturn is work and responsibility. So take responsibility for those things that you prefer. Forget about what the gurus have said. Use that as a guideline, but start developing your own preferences. And Gemini energy is so cool in that way. It's just having this energy for me means when the shit is hitting the fan, if you want to excuse the expression, it looks like nothing is working the way I think it should. I often find I do this. I sit back, I go, okay, well, what's really relevant here anymore? And allow the opportunities to show up rather than the chaos, right?
This is so cool. It reminds me, and I talk about this in my book, and I always talk about it, maybe even in this transit. On my phone, I have an alarm set that's been ringing for probably 10 years now. At 11:11 every morning, it rings and it says, slow down to accelerate. And this is the first year I am really looking at the transits now. And this is why we're doing this series. In a way, I'm like learning on the job. And it occurred to me how this is exactly the message. And this is why it's in my design, it's a subconscious thing. Subconsciously, I know I need to slow down to accelerate. This is why this phrase really got stuck. This is the energy of this gate 35. Think about it. Do you need to really act on this urge that you have? Are you acting out of proper reasons, out of the maybe unconditional love? Do you have healthy boundaries, or you're rushing for the sake of rushing? You're rushing because there is some sort of push, or you're just like caught up in this newness. I want something new. I want change. This is not working. Or even if you're not saying this is not working, because I know this energy, the boredom, it's kind of insidious, when it's in its shadow, because things could be good and they could be working, and then this sense of boredom creeps in, and you can be feeling trapped in a goodness. That is the danger with gate 35. It's always something new. And then if you have 36 in your emotional center, you have this 35-36 channel, that will always push you into this like building expectations for something and then crashing. And and that cycle can be really unpleasant to deal with, because it does make you want to sort of like, okay, I've done this, been there, done that, bored with it, what's next? But we can't move like that through life. Some things need to be more permanent, and I don't know, there has to be a security in your life, right? So some elements can't just be broken for the sake of them. And this is why you need to check in and always remember, especially if you don't have this in your design permanently or defined, and you have this transit that comes in. So is this feeling I need to change everything, I need to drop everything, maybe I'm bored with what I'm doing now? Is it actually something like, is it a reason to drop it this week? So when you're making these kind of decisions, wait if you're not clear. Now on the yes decisions, if you feel your inner authority, or you just feel in your heart, this is a good thing, nobody's pushing you into it, it feels good, it lights you up, go for it. This is a good energy to go for it. And this is but slow down to accelerate is such a wonderful phrase. And maybe the rhythms also feed into this.
They really do, because you see in the business world, they kind of driven it into, let's have this peak productivity all the time. Whereas actually products have cycles, humans have cycles. But what can happen from a manifesting perspective is people will feel this inner unease all the time. So think about it as an entrepreneur, right? You're sitting there, you're feeling uneasy that you need to be doing something. So you're not really resting, you're not really doing anything. So you feel guilty when you're resting, and then when you're doing something, you're wondering, are you doing enough? And it's crazy in manifesting energy, because it can really drive us to, the impatience will fuel, the activity will fuel. And what happens is we're saying to the universe all the time, it's never enough. It's never enough. What's enough? What's enough? So as projectors, we'll feel that intensely because we already have the open sacral. The 5-1 will try to be fixing it. So it's not something that needs to be fixed. The manifesting generator will be setting up the crisis to fix when they're bored. So we all have our own way of trying to keep
Creating it.
busy, almost afraid of the silence. And so the universe just keeps bringing back.
Oh my
Not
God, it just gave me body. I have goosebumps all over my body because you said, we're afraid of the silence. And my most favorite song throughout the whole my, adult life is Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence, because it talks about that you have everything you've ever wanted, you ever needed here in your arms. And this is important to understand that we do have everything we need at every moment. We might want more, but to appreciate this and not be afraid of stillness, and not be afraid of this moment of silence is so, so good. Thank you so much, Anita, for saying this, because this is exactly what I think right now, this week, is important as a check-in.
Yeah. Oh, totally, totally. Because when we make wanting more wrong, or we make it our goal, it actually is a natural growth drive, this energy.
Of course,
Naturally
yeah.
wanting to grow, naturally wanting to expand. And for us to just get that in balance, because this is the superpower. You can really create miracles in your life with this energy when you know how to use it. But it's a super liability if you're stuck in that cycle of not enough, or I
Yeah.
want more, or make guilting yourself for wanting more. That have you ever got enough? We've all sorts of
I think
culture.
that everyone I have ever spoken to in my business at some point expressed this. Oh, this is not enough, or I am not doing enough. I am not productive enough. How come that I am, I'm feeling so bored. I'm feeling so still. Actually, I literally just this week gave somebody this advice, what I've done a few years ago. And this is the rhythms, right? So this is a good week for everyone, because we have the earth in this gate of fixed rhythms or fixed patterns, to watch your natural rhythms. And then you will know when you are, productive naturally, or you have this peak in your, when your brain is more active. You can schedule things in your business and in your life around your rhythms. I have tracked my rhythms for about 3 weeks back in 2020, actually, during the pandemic didn't change my lifestyle, by the way, because I was already just doing stuff online and mostly in my office. So but it was very interesting to track this, and I realized that there are some hours. So when I wake up, I don't need to jump out of bed and say, okay, the day have started, what have I to do? I can't do this, because my natural pattern is, there is a lot of hours that it takes me to become a human. So I take my coffee, I can journal, I sometimes can read something. My brain is between worlds. It's very good at thinking about something, contemplating. So I would use that time not to create content, but to think about it, maybe to jot things down. And I'm not very good at talking, so I never schedule any calls early in the morning with my clients, because I know I have nothing to give in those moments. My brain is not there. And then when it comes to midnight, it activates. Oh, sorry, midnight, I wish. Midday. So a couple of hours to wake up, and then midday, it's activated for a couple of hours. This is the time for me to sit down, create content, record something, have a client call, because I'm there. And the same in the evening, I know exactly when not to work. And when people say to me, oh, Juliette, you're in a different time zone, and this is way too early for me, I understand and I want to accommodate people, but I also know that I can accommodate them at the expense of me not being able to give them everything that they need to get. And I think as someone who is leading a call, it's really important that I am fully in the giving energy, where they can be a little bit more receptive and not as active. This is a very interesting dynamics when we have client calls, that you don't have to be fully on to receive. It actually goes and settles there, and then you have the replays and everything. And it helped me so much organize my life in a way that there is no more blame. There is no more thinking, oh my God, I could have done the call in the morning. Oh my God, I could have done the call at 7 o'clock, but I don't have the 7 o'clock, only 6 o'clock. Because I know at 7 o'clock, my brain goes, do, 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 Windows shut down music. And that's it, and nothing is happening. And so I can't give during that time. It was really, really beneficial to have that awareness, because that was 2020. This is 2024 now. There's 4 years of conscious running my business in a way that suits me. And this is what I always promote, that run your business in a way that suits you. Human design, manifestation practices, all that gives you clarity on what suits you, what you actually want. And then you can tweak everything. And don't listen to the gurus. Don't listen to how things should be, because just because somebody's successful, it's not because they're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not because they have a particular routine. That stuff suits them, and that's why they're successful. You need to find your own routine, and less is more, and slowing down to accelerate absolutely can bring you a lot of profits. Trust me, I know, because I have lived through these kind of periods in my life just recently and still. And so when you find what works for you, that's where you find that you'll have that breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
But these transits also help you then navigate throughout the year, and taking away these things. I think every time, okay, we had 2 weeks ago, we had the gate in the now. Learning to be present, how amazing it is long term. It's not just for that week. That's why I think that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I
and I
think
love
these are
that.
very, very helpful. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's okay. I think they're fantastic as well, because they tell you what energies are available also at those times. But a very important point you made there was about your own rhythm. I came from working in a hospital, working on call in the night times, weird hours, and moving into running my own business. I truly didn't know another way of working. So, and with this 35 energy in my chart, I might feel guilty if I'm not doing, I was working crazy hours that I would have been working in a hospital without thinking that it was impacting me. But of course, it leads to burnout. And that's what's really important to know, is that, and that's why, as you said, getting up at 5 in the morning, I see this all the time. Oh, I'm up at 5 and I have all my stuff done. I'm at my desk at 8 and I'm kind of there. It's 11 for me.
Yeah.
By the time I've had, but it's also important because I didn't know another way. It was only really when I got my design in 2014 that I realized, ooh, these things that I've been guilting myself for, not feeling even happy to rest because I felt I should be doing something, that was this gate 35 energy. So realizing that I could do my own thing. You have a lot of people coming out of corporate into coaching
Yeah.
and thinking that they need to be working these crazy hours and that that's productivity. It isn't. Remember, you probably had a whole team behind you in work, that if you
That's
weren't
true.
there,
Actually, and beware of, I would even go further, is when you are learning about how to run your business as a solopreneur, beware when you're getting advice from somebody with a corporate background, because they had a team, because they had a completely different approach to what marketing is, what like guerrilla marketing strategies is so much more kind of what we're doing here, rather than those traditional marketing strategies. So it's just about being aware, right? It's the awareness. But you're so right. I also came from hospitality industry, actually, into marketing before even online marketing. I worked in hospitality for so many years. So, it's like on all the time on call. You never could have a day off, because you could get a phone call and like, oh, we're short staffed. Can you come in? And can you come in is not a question. It is
Mhm.
come in, otherwise you might not get hours next week. So it's this kind of life, and you come into running your business with the same attitude. You bend backwards, you work these massive hours. You never think about the fact that what suits you. Why are you not enjoying your business or your clients? Because you didn't make it, or you didn't create it around what suits you to enjoy it. And this is such a good energy right now this week. And even if this is something that you want to think about that. Where are the healthy boundaries? Are you pushing because you're rushed or pushed? Don't rush this week. Oh my God, rushing energy this week is a no-no. You know, if you rush, you will be late for everything. You know that phrase? I really like. I was just reminded about this phrase this week. So this is something to take your time, to trust your journey, to be patient, as well as taking the leap. Take the leap when you really believe in it. And if it's anything less than that, then wait. So impatience, mistrust of life, opposition to what's unfolding, this is all the energies of resistance. Avoid that. If you find yourself, you know, dragged into that, stop, adjust, take a pause, slow down to accelerate.
And trust your yes.
Yeah, and trust your yeses. Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
That's wonderful. Anita, thank you so much. Guys, we will see you on the next transit.